Attention if you are over 60. If a police officer stops you and asks you to explain certain things about yourself, what you say in those next moments could destroy your freedom, even if you have done nothing wrong. There are specific explanations that police want to hear from older adults that sound harmless but are actually designed to build a case against you, and you have the legal right under the Constitution to refuse to explain any of these things. According to the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution, no person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, which means you have the right to remain silent and the right to have an attorney present during questioning. The most important thing to remember is this: you do not need to explain where you have been, what you were doing, how you are feeling, or anything about your personal life. If the officer asks you to explain these things, you can simply say, "I am exercising my right to remain silent. Today I am going to show you exactly which 5 things you should never explain to police, why officers ask you to explain them even though they know you do not have to, how explaining these things has gotten innocent seniors arrested and had their licenses taken away, and most importantly, the exact words to say that protect your rights without making things worse." So stay with me until the end, because I will also share the one critical mistake that most people over 60 make during police stops that officers use against them in court. And if you are watching right now, please hit like so this video reaches other people over 60 who need to protect their rights, and comment below. Have you ever felt pressured by a police officer to explain yourself during a traffic stop? Stakes: why this matters. If you explain these things without knowing your rights, you could find yourself arrested, charged with crimes you did not commit, or giving police the exact evidence they need to take away your driver's license. Many people mistakenly believe that simply staying quiet is the same as using their Fifth Amendment right, but that is not true. According to the Supreme Court ruling in Salinas v. Texas, if you just refuse to answer a police question without clearly stating your rights, your silence can be used as evidence against you in court. That is why it is important to clearly say that you are invoking your right to remain silent, which prevents your silence from being held against you. The stakes are especially high for seniors because of how police evaluate fitness to drive. In many states, doctors, family members, and even law enforcement can report drivers they believe may be unsafe, which can trigger a mandatory review by the Department of Motor Vehicles. This means that anything you explain during a traffic stop about your health, where you are going, or your daily activities can be used to question whether you are fit to drive, which could lead to losing your license. One wrong explanation about where you were going, whether you have been drinking, or how you are feeling can lead to field sobriety tests, demands for a breathalyzer, searches of your vehicle, or immediate license suspension. Even if you are completely innocent and sober, the wrong explanations can make you look guilty, and recovering from that first impression is nearly impossible. Your freedom, your driver's license, and your reputation all depend on knowing exactly what to say and what not to explain. Thing number 1: you should never explain your destination and recent activities. The first thing police will ask you to explain that you should never answer is where you are coming from or where you are headed. This sounds like friendly conversation, like the officer is just being polite and making small talk while they check your license. But here is what most drivers do not realize. You are not legally required to answer these questions, and the Fifth Amendment protects your right to remain silent during police encounters. Here is why police ask you to explain this. They are looking for differences in your story, building probable cause, and gathering information about what you do. If you explain that you are coming from a bar, restaurant, or social event, they now have reason to suspect you might be drunk. If you explain you are going to or from certain neighborhoods, they might suspect drug activity. If you pause or your explanation does not match what they see in your car, they use that as reason to keep you there longer and investigate further. Let me give you a real example. A 68-year-old man was pulled over for a small traffic violation. The officer asked where he was coming from. He honestly explained that he had been at his grandson's birthday party at a restaurant. The officer asked if alcohol was served. He said yes, there was beer and wine, but he only had 1 glass of wine 3 hours ago. That explanation gave the officer grounds to do field sobriety tests. The man was nervous, failed the balance test because he has joint pain in his knees, and was arrested for drunk driving. His blood test later showed he was well under the legal limit, but he had already spent a night in jail, paid thousands in legal fees, and had his license suspended for months. This happened because he explained something he did not have to explain. Thing number 2, you should never explain your alcohol consumption. The second thing you should absolutely never explain is whether you have been drinking or how many drinks you have had. This question is a trap with no good answer. If you say yes, you have just admitted to possibly driving under the influence, and the officer will immediately begin investigating you for drunk driving. If you say no, and the officer smells anything that might be alcohol or sees any sign you might be drunk, they will accuse you of lying, which gives them even more reason to arrest you. Legal experts are clear about your rights here. While you must provide identification and registration, you are not required to answer questions about where you are going, what you have been doing, or how many drinks you had. Here is what happens when you explain this. If you admit to even one drink, the officer will do sobriety tests. If you say you had 2 drinks but only weigh 120 pounds, that might put you over the legal limit. If you say you had 1 drink but it was actually a large cocktail with multiple shots, the officer will argue you lied about how much you drank. The correct response when asked to explain your drinking is to politely state, "I am respectfully exercising my right to remain silent." Refusing to explain is not being difficult. It is using a constitutional right. Remember that anything you explain can be used to build a case against you. If an officer already has grounds to cite or arrest you, explaining will not change that. If they do not have grounds, your explanations might give them the evidence they need. The reality is that officers know you have the right to refuse this question, but they ask anyway because most people, especially seniors who were raised to respect authority, will explain honestly without realizing they are giving away their legal protections. Thing number 3, you should never explain why you think you were stopped. Thing number 3 that you should never explain is whether you know why the officer pulled you over. This question seems like the officer is giving you a chance to be honest and work with them, but it is actually designed to make you confess to violations you might not have even done. Criminal defense lawyers call this the confession trap. If you say, "Was I speeding?" you have just admitted to speeding even if that is not why the officer stopped you. If you say, "I know my taillight is out," you have admitted to a violation the officer might not have even noticed. If you say, "I do not know," the officer can use that to suggest you are not paying attention to your driving, which supports arguments about being drunk or distracted. According to traffic rights experts, if the officer does not tell you information when approaching your vehicle, you can politely ask, "May I ask what traffic violation you observed?" This question serves 2 purposes. It shows that you are aware of your rights, and it creates a record of the officer's stated reason, which can be important if the reason changes later. But you should never explain whether you know why you were stopped. In my experience, I watched countless drivers talk themselves into citations or arrests with this one question. An officer pulls someone over for a broken taillight but has not decided whether to give a warning or a ticket. Then the driver says, "I am sorry, officer, I know I was going a little fast back there." Now the officer has 2 violations instead of 1, and the driver confessed to the more serious one. Always remember that you have the right to remain silent beyond providing your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance. You can use your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent about other questions regarding your activities, whereabouts, or involvement in possible crimes. Thing number 4, you should never explain consent to vehicle searches. Thing number 4 is when an officer asks, "Do you mind if I search your vehicle, or can I take a look in your trunk?" This question is perhaps the most important one to refuse, because agreeing to a search gives up your Fourth Amendment rights against unreasonable searches. Legal experts are absolutely clear on this point. Unless the officer has probable cause or a warrant, you have the right to refuse a search of your vehicle. Politely state your right to privacy and ask if you are free to leave. Agreeing to a search can give up your Fourth Amendment rights. Here is what many seniors do not understand. If an officer asks permission to search, it means they do not have legal grounds to search without your permission. If they had probable cause, they would not be asking for permission, they would just search. The fact that they are asking means your agreement is the only thing standing between your privacy and a search. What officers rarely tell you is that you have the right to clearly and calmly refuse permission to search. A simple "Officer, I do not consent to searches" is enough. Refusing permission cannot be held against you legally, though it may make the stop last longer if the officer then tries to get a warrant. Why is this so important? Because even innocent items in your car can be misunderstood or used as evidence. That prescription medicine bottle without the label. The officer might suspect illegal drugs. That small knife you use for camping. In some places it could be considered a concealed weapon. That cash you took out to pay a contractor. Police might suspect drug money and take it through civil asset forfeiture. I have seen seniors lose thousands of dollars and their vehicles because they agreed to a search and had something completely legal that an officer decided looked suspicious. One 72-year-old woman traveling with $8,000 in cash to buy a used car from a private seller lost every penny because she let police search, and they claimed the cash was drug-related, even though she had bank receipts. It took her 2 years and $5,000 in legal fees to get her money back. Thing number 5: you should never explain access to your phone. Thing number 5 is becoming more common and very dangerous. Can I unlock your phone, or can I see what is on your phone? In today's world, your smartphone contains a huge amount of personal information. It is important that you know your rights during a police traffic stop because the police might ask you to unlock your phone. You are not required to do this. The Supreme Court ruled in Riley v. California that police generally require a warrant in order to search cell phones, even when it occurs during an otherwise lawful arrest. Law officers cannot legally demand to view your phone's contents, including photos, videos, texts, or call records, without a warrant. Your phone contains your entire digital life. Your text messages, emails, photos, banking apps, location history, search history, and social media accounts are all on that device. Giving police access to your phone without a warrant is giving them access to information they could never legally get otherwise. Here is why police ask for your phone. They are looking for evidence of texting while driving. They want to see if your GPS or maps show you were coming from somewhere you said you were not. They are hoping to find photos or messages that look bad. Or they want to look through your contacts and call records looking for connections to criminal activity. The correct response is very clear. I do not consent to any searches of my phone. You do not need to explain, justify, or make excuses. Just clearly state you are refusing permission. Courts have repeatedly held that police need a warrant to search a phone, and that includes asking you to unlock it for them. Some police might pressure you by saying, "If you have nothing to hide, why will you not show me?" This is a manipulation tactic. The Fourth Amendment exists specifically so that you do not have to prove your innocence by giving up your privacy. Your refusal to give permission cannot be used as evidence of guilt. Do not fall for these pressure tactics, especially as a senior who might feel worried by authority figures. The magic phrases that protect your rights. Now let me give you the exact phrases you need to remember that will protect your rights during any police encounter. These phrases are legally tested, approved by attorneys, and designed to use your rights without making the situation worse. First, when asked any question beyond identification, say, "I am respectfully exercising my right to remain silent." This phrase does 3 things. It clearly uses your Fifth Amendment right. It cannot be used against you in court because you have said you are using a constitutional right. And it is polite enough that it does not anger the officer. Second, if the officer keeps asking you questions, add, "I do not wish to answer any questions without my attorney present." Once you invoke your right to an attorney, police questioning must stop. However, if you keep talking after saying this, the police can use any information you share against you. That is why after you say this, you must actually stay silent. Stop talking completely. Third, if asked to agree to a search, say, "I do not consent to any searches." Then ask, "Am I being detained, or am I free to go?" This forces the officer to make a legal decision. If you are being detained, they must have reasonable suspicion of a crime. If you are not being detained, you are free to leave. Once the reason for the stop is complete, such as giving you a citation for the original violation, the detention should end. You are not required to stay around for more questioning or investigation that is not related to the reason the officer stopped you. Courts have ruled that keeping traffic stops going too long without reasonable suspicion is against the Constitution. Fourth, if recording the encounter, state clearly, "I am recording this interaction for my safety and yours." Federal courts have ruled that people have a First Amendment right to record police officers carrying out their duties in public. Use an app or phone settings to automatically upload the recordings to a cloud in case your phone is taken. What to do if your rights are violated. If a police officer violates your rights during a traffic stop, here is exactly what to do to protect yourself and build a case. First, do not resist or argue at the scene. Even if the officer is completely wrong, arguing or resisting will only make your situation worse and could lead to more charges. Stay calm, stay polite, and clearly state your rights, but ultimately follow lawful orders even if you disagree. One criminal defense attorney explained, "Knowing your rights during a traffic stop is one thing, but what happens when those rights are violated? What if your polite refusal to answer questions leads to threats, or your declined search turns into an illegal one? The answer is that you protect yourself with documentation and legal action afterward, not fighting during the stop. Second, document everything right after the encounter. Write down the officer's name and badge number, the date, time, and exact location of the stop. Everything that was said by both you and the officer. Whether you were recording and where that recording is stored. The names and contact information of any witnesses. And any physical evidence like the citation or written warning. Third, if you believe your rights were violated, file complaints with multiple agencies. File with the Police Department's Internal Affairs Division. Submit a complaint to your state's Attorney General office. Contact the ACLU or other civil rights organizations in your area. And talk with a criminal defense attorney who focuses on police misconduct. A skilled criminal defense lawyer can help by reviewing the situation of the stop, challenging unlawful searches or arrests, and building a strong defense to protect your freedom, record, and future opportunities. An attorney checks for rights violations by reviewing police reports, body camera footage, witness statements, and dash cam videos. They look at whether officers had reasonable suspicion for the initial stop, followed proper procedures, respected your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, and did any searches legally. Final advice and conclusion. Finally, here is my most important advice. Many people believe that invoking the right to remain silent makes them appear guilty. However, exercising this right is a legal protection and does not imply guilt. In fact, trying to explain or justify your actions without legal help can accidentally provide law enforcement with information that may be used against you. As a senior, you might feel extra pressure to cooperate because you were raised to respect police and authority figures. But understand that modern policing has changed dramatically. Officers are trained to gather evidence and build cases, and they will use your own words against you even if you are completely innocent. Your politeness and honesty will not protect you if your words can be twisted into evidence. Know your rights. Use the phrases I have given you. Stay calm and respectful. But never give up your constitutional protections just because someone in a uniform asks you to. Remember, you only have to provide your driver's license, vehicle registration, and proof of insurance during a traffic stop. Beyond that, you have every right to remain silent. You do not have to explain where you have been, where you are going, what you have been doing, or anything about your personal life. You do not have to agree to searches of your vehicle or your phone. You do not have to answer questions about drinking or why you think you were stopped. These rights exist to protect innocent people, and you should use them. The Constitution protects you, but only if you know how to use those protections. Stay safe, know your rights, and never let anyone pressure you into giving up the freedoms that generations fought to protect.